Tell me how you check that the brakes are working before starting a journey. Tell me how you check that the brakes are working before starting a journey. Tell me where you'd find the information for the recommended tire pressure for this car and how tire pressures should be checked. These are part of the questions that they would ask you on your test day. So there are about a whole lot of questions here, about 10 to 15 of them. They would pick up anyone randomly and then ask you one of these questions on your test day, and you're required to answer them. You're required to know them. I'm going to go through it one after the other, and I'm going to explain. I'm also going to give you the answers to these questions, and I'm also going to drop the link in the comment section. So in your spare time, just click on it. It's going to take you to the government website, and you're going to see both the questions and the answers, and it will help you prepare for your test day. It's very, very important. These questions would always come out there. It's always very important that they will ask you these questions before you step out for the main driving. So what will happen on your test day is, the first thing that would happen there is, before stepping into the car, they would ask you to look ahead of you. There's going to be a car in front of you, a bit far from where you're standing, not really that far, but far. And they would ask you to mention, to give them the registration number of that car in front of you. So when I step outside, I'm going to use my car to describe what it means. So that's the first question they would ask you, just to confirm that you've got good eyesight and you're able to see far. So they would ask you for the plate number of a car in front of you. That's the first thing they would ask you. And it's very, very important that you're going to answer that question. That's one. After that, they verify that your eyesights are good and all that. They've done their checks on the car. The next question they would ask you before they step into the car might be this one. They might ask you to tell them, tell me how do you check that the brakes are working before starting a journey? How would you check that the brakes are working before starting a journey? They might ask you that question. The simple answer is, the brakes should not feel spongy or slack. So when you step into the car, the brakes should not feel slack. It shouldn't be slack, if you get what I mean. So if you could give them the first line as the answer of the question, and then you're good to go. You don't need to give them like a complete answer or another. You could just tell them the brakes should not feel spongy or slack, and brakes should be tested before you set off. Vehicles should not pull to one side. So when you're applying your brakes, the vehicle should not pull to one side. This, you could pick out any of these three answers, and just give to them, and then you've passed that one. But that's just one of it. So they could ask you one of these questions before stepping into the car, and then the next one will be show me. But after that, they could ask you, tell me where you'd find the information for the recommended tire pressure for this car and how tire pressures should be checked. So you know what tire pressure is. They could ask you how you check for tire pressures of that car and how you're able to check it. So the simple answer could just be the manufacturer's guide. It's on your manual. So you could just check your manual to see tire pressure, or also you could use a reliable pressure guide and also check and adjust pressure when tires are cold. And also, all you just need to do is also remember to refit the caps and all that. So after you've checked the tire pressure, also remember to fixing that small tiny black cap back to the tire. But like I said, one or two lines of the answer, it's okay. So when they ask you that question, you could just say manufacturer's guide. That's where I'm going to check to know the recommended tire pressure. Manufacturer's guide. That's so. Once you mention that, he'll be like, oh, okay, that's good. At least you have a knowledge of it and you actually know the answer. Then they could skip to the next one, which next one could be, tell me how you'd make sure the head restraint is correctly adjusted so it provides the best protection in the event of a car crash. You know what a head restraint is? The stuff behind your back and the car when you're sitting on your seat at the back, yeah? So how do you know? So like I said, you just give them one or two lines of answers. The answers there, like when I share the link, you're going to see it there. The head restraint should be adjusted so the rigid part of the head is at least as high as the eye or on the top of the ear. So you should set it so it's going to be as high as the eye or the top of the ears. So you just give them first line of answers just so they have an idea that you know what you're doing. Then you move to the next one. So I'm not saying they're going to ask you all these questions. Like I said, it's a whole lot of, it's about 10, 15 questions here, but they might just ask you one or two random questions out of it, and then that's all. If you get them correctly, you're good to go. If you fail one, they would give you the chance to ask you a second one again, and you just try to make sure you answer it correctly. The next one could be, tell me how you check the tire to ensure that they have sufficient tread depth and that their general condition is safe to use on the road. So the answer to that one is no cuts, no blood. So, and then the tread must be 1.6 millimeter. This question also, you see that in your theory test. So how you always make sure that the tire depth is generally okay and is good and is safe to use for the road. So the answer there is no cuts, no blotches, or 1.6 millimeter. I think this was a question they asked me also, and then my answer was 1.6 millimeter. The tire depth should be as deep as 1.6 millimeter of the tread, and that was it. That's just what I mentioned, and then was like, okay, that's good to go, and then you move to the next one. So this is very, very important. Then next, the fifth one could be tell me how you check that the headlights and tail lights are working. You don't need to exit the vehicle. So this one would be once you've entered the vehicle, and then it might just ask you, how would you tell me how you know that your headlamps or your tail light is working properly? So you just give them the answer that you turn it on. If it's the headlamp, you have to show them where you turn that on and all that, and then you walk around to check if the light is working, if the light is showing visibly, or you can actually turn it on and then ask somebody to help you double check that for you. But the answer there is you explain how you're going to turn it on, and then you'd walk around the vehicle, and this is a tell me question. These questions, they will normally ask you these questions while you're already in the car. So this is a tell me question. It's not show me. The show me question is the one where before you enter the car, they'll ask you these questions before stepping into the car. But this is a tell me question. So you don't need to come down from the car. You've already you've gone into the car before you start your test proper. They would ask you one of these questions. And the next one could be, tell me how you'd know if there was a problem with your anti-locking braking system. So you could just tell them that when they ask you this question, you could just tell them that you would, once you see a warning light showing on the dashboard. I think I've made a video about this. Once you see the warning light showing or illuminating on the dashboard, that means, and then it's showing the ABS system and all, that means there could be a problem with the braking system. So this is also very important, like I said. And then this one could be, tell me how you check the direction that the direction indicators are working. You don't need to exit the vehicle also. This is also a tell me question. So all you just need to do is turn it on, explain that how you'd operate the switch. So slide down the indicator, and then you tell them how you're going to check that. If you're going to physically walk around the vehicle before you move in the morning to confirm that your indicators, both of them, are working, you explain that's what you do. And then number 8 is, tell me how you check the brake lights are working too. So all you need to do is you tell them that I explain that you operate the brake pedal, you operate it, and then you ask someone to help you look, or you could also use reflection of windows to also check if your brake light is working. I think they asked a friend of mine this question. So the next one would be, tell me how do you check the power assisted steering is working before starting the journey. Your power steering is working. So the answer could be, if it becomes heavy, that means it's not working. So the power steering ensures that the steering is quite soft and free to use. Yeah. So that's, like I said, just give them one line of the answer. You don't need to go deeply to start explaining if he's doing. No, you just give them one line. You're good to go. And then number 10 is, tell me how you'd switch on the rear fog lights and explain when you use it. You don't need to exit the vehicle. This is also very important. Like why this is very important is, if you're not going to be using your car, if you're going to be using your driving instructor's car, ensure that they show this to you. Please remind them to show this to you, how you're going to turn on your rear fog light. A lot of complications are there on this new model car. So they should tell you if you don't know it. Just feel free to ask questions, even if you're going to be using a different car than yours. And the next one here is, tell me how you switch your headlight from deep to main, and explain how you'd know the main beam is on. So it's also by this question, you're already in the car. They would ask you to operate it and show. Like I said, if you have no idea about this, also speak to either your instructor or you speak to the owner of the car. So there's number 12. Open the bonnet and tell me how you check that the engine has sufficient oil. So that's a show me. So they will tell you to show, and then you have to open the bonnet and then show them. So all you need to do is identify, the dipstick there, identify the dipstick, and then pull it out and show them the level. That's all. Just show them that you know what and the engine oil is, and then show them how you check the engine oil. That's all you need to do on that day. And then they could also tell you to open the bonnet and tell me how you check that the engine has sufficient engine coolant. I just made a video about coolant the other day. So you just open the bonnet and show them the coolant, the fluid, and then their levels. You see the level, you see maximum, and then you see minimum, Just show them what, if it's maximum, that means it's got a good gauge for it, and then you're good to go. That's also very important. So just show, that's a show me question. So the tell me ones are the ones I mentioned. Tell me how you're going to do this. Tell me how you're going to know if your brake is good to go before starting your journey. And but while the show me is, you have to practically show them. So open the bonnet and show me this and that. So the next one will be, open the bonnet and tell me how you check that you have a safe level of hydraulic brake fluid. So show them the hydraulic fluid. Like I also said when I talked about the coolant, that you're going to see the levels there. You're going to see the minimum, you're going to see the maximum. So if it's minimum, that means you need to do a top up. If it's maximum, you're good to go. So just show them how you're able to check that. Then that's how you're good to go. Yeah. And then show me questions. When you jump into the main show me questions, you also see that there are about 7 of them here. Like I said, I'm going to paste this link in the comment section. Just feel free to go about it. If your test is tomorrow, or if your test is fast approaching, have a look at this and just revise it. Have it on at the back of your mind. You need to answer these questions before you pass your driving test. It's very, very important. So show me also, like the show me aspect of this could be, the first one here could be, when it's safe to do, can you show me how you'd wash and clean your rear windscreen? I think they asked me this question too. And while you're driving, so you don't need to be nervous. So they could tell you to clean the front windscreen. Show me how you're able to do it. So to turn on the wipers and then splash the water on it, and then make sure you clean the front glass very well. So you're driving, so you don't need to be nervous. You have to show them while you're driving. By show me you're already driving, so they want to see your confidence in driving. So while you're doing it, you just practically show them how you clean your front windscreen. So you know what to do. Push the wipers back, the wiper handle back, and then there's going to be water will splash on the screen, and then the wipers will operate automatically. So it's very, very important you know this. Next one could be, I'm trying to be very fast because I just wanted to make sure this video is under 10 minutes. So let me just wrap this up. So next one could be, they could ask you, when it's safe to do, can you show me how you'd wash and clean your front windscreen? Yep. That's the front. They could also ask you to show them how you're able to wash the back windscreen, which is the rear one, which is the first question I asked here. I was trying to explain. So you also need to, if you don't know these things before using your friend's car, before using your car, try to identify these things. It's very, very important. That's why I also mentioned it's quite easy to use your car, because you know your car. It's quite easy to use your car for this test. Like I mentioned, but if you're going to be using your driving instructor's car, ensure that they show all this to you. Very important. Next one could be, when it's safe to do, can you show me how you switch on your deep headlights? Yeah. And then also, when it's safe to do, can you show me how you set your rear demister? And then when it's safe to do, can you show me how you operate your horn? And then when it's safe to do, can you show me how you demist the front windscreen? And then when it's safe to do, can you show me how you open and close the side window? That's also one of the simplest ones. So if they ask you on that day about how you open and close the side window, it's quite easy. So while you're driving, you're concentrating there, you could just show them how you wind it down and then turn it up again. So these are tips. Like I said, I'm going to post this on the comment section. Find time to go through it. It's a driving test hack. It's going to help you prepare very well for your test. And don't be nervous. I understand the pressure everyone faces, like when they're going to sit for their driving test. I wish you all the best. I believe you're going to scale through. Don't be nervous. Just go there, do your thing. I believe so much in you. I know you're going to be successful. Do well to like, subscribe, and also comment. If you have any questions, if you want me to clarify anything, let me know. I am here for you. I'm going to do that for you. Do enjoy the rest of your day. And like I said, success in your driving. See you later.